This is the Gamecube, my favorite gaming console ever. The Gamecube is home to an amazing series of games and memories for people all over the world. Some games even live on today, such as Super Smash Bros. Melee, which recently got officially recognized by Nintendo for tournament use. Arguably, one of the most important parts aside from the game library on the system is the controller. This right here is the Gamecube controller, and it's darn near perfect. Join me for this short retrospective upon the Gamecube controller in honor of the 20th anniversary of the system. And don't worry, I'll cover the console and games itself in a future video. Now then, this right here is the original Gamecube controller in all its purple glory. The controller is very sturdy and just the right size for most hands. It features built-in rumble and comfy buttons. The buttons themselves are just the right size and placed in natural positions for fingers to reach. This design is strikingly similar to the layout of the original Xbox controller with the dual analog sticks. Both are different by texture, so it's easier to tell apart just using the feel as well as being in 8 directions. It features L and R triggers that do this strangely satisfying click when you press them all the way in. That's nice. For the people who played a lot of Mario Party, you might be used to hearing something like this. Just over the R trigger is the Z button. Unfortunately, it's known to be a little easier to break this button. Nevertheless, it's in a natural placement and is very quiet. This R and Z button situation later turned into the R and ZR setup used today in something like the Switch. The start button is tiny but works well. Then finally we have the one bad part of this controller. This D-pad is actually awful. It's tiny and doesn't move all that much, it really doesn't feel good at all to use. Avoid using it, I'd say. The controller is surprisingly sturdy. Like, it takes a lot to break these things. Most of the time when they actually do break, it's because of stuff like this during Melee tournaments.
Holy. I knew he was tilted, but I didn't know he was that tilted.
Oh my god.
Now, there has been a lot of different colors and some different variants of the Gamecube controller over the years. Like, most recently, this Super Smash Bros. Ultimate version. I love this, but I must admit, the Smash 4 one is way better looking. But why would there be new Gamecube controllers these days? Getting to that later. The most famous one, I suppose, is this monstrosity. A full-length keyboard is something special. Not useful, but special nevertheless. Essentially, the one game that this was used for was Phantasy Star Online, and even then it was mainly used for chatting and such. Otherwise, it's just a long-ass Gamecube controller and works just as well as any other one. If I'm not mistaken, you can use the keyboard on your computer as well, but don't even think about it. Now, this chainsaw is about as famous as the keyboard controller. Why? Well, because that's the actual controller. This thing was released alongside Resident Evil 4, one of the highest rated games ever on its home console, the Gamecube. Aside from looking clunky and all, it really doesn't feature anything new. The look says it all. Next, let's talk about the most used variant, which happens to be the Wavebird controller, aka the wireless controller. This controller didn't feature rumble, probably for the space needed to make it wireless, although I suppose they already did add more space than normal controllers with that huge chin. Nevertheless, the Wavebird controller made things a lot more comfortable in terms of playstyles. That is, melting on the couch like a snail. It's a shame though that, at least in my country, the second-hand Wavebird controllers are kind of expensive. Oh, and if you're enjoying yourself thus far, then a sub would be greatly appreciated. The Gamecube controller actually lives on to this day, with new revisions every now and then. As mentioned before, this is because of Super Smash Bros. Alongside Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Wii U, Nintendo released an adapter that lets you connect up to 4 Gamecube controllers to the system. One of those controllers being the Super Smash edition of the Gamecube controller I mentioned earlier. Then the same thing happened with the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch, a new adapter and a new Gamecube controller. That's this little guy. Essentially, the fandom for Melee and the controller as the preferred way to fight and smash is what made all of this possible. Thus, it's also very easy to find third-party controllers of different qualities, ranging from trashy low-quality eBay or Wish stuff like this that gets the job done somewhat, to the most recent one. The Panda GameCube controller is the most advanced GameCube controller ever made, brought to you by you. Yeah, you heard me right. This controller passed its intended Kickstarter goal on the very same day it was posted on. Stuff like this only happens because of the fans. And that's how the GameCube controller can keep living on and evolving time and time again. I just hope Nintendo one day returns to this as their main style controller, hopefully using something like the Panda controller as a base. Essentially, that's the GameCube controller. It really is a masterpiece of a controller that's beyond comfortable and easy to use. What's your favorite memory with the GameCube controller? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching this slightly sentimental video of mine rambling on about my favorite controller. Have a good one.